All right, it is now 7 PM. I will call the Tuesday, July 15th Board of Selectmen meeting to order. All three selectmen are present. And we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I make a motion that we approve the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes from July 1st, 2025.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on these minutes?
I just have one correction throughout the whole minutes is my name is spelled with an S, not a Z.
You have that, Lorraine? Any other?
Yes, I do. I'll make that correction. Sorry about that.
No problem. Thank you.
Thanks,
You're
Lorraine. Any other comments in regard to the meeting?
No, I thought it looked good.
All right, all in favor of approving the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes from July 1st, 2025, say aye.
I
Aye. Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes from July 7th, 2025.
Second.
Any discussion on these minutes?
No, just the same thing, changing the Z to an S.
No, okay, all in favor of approving the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes from July 7th, 2025, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, correspondence. Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection June report. This correspondence is to keep you apprised of the monthly police services occurring within the town of Thompson. It is my sincere hope that this report will assist you in better understanding our role in your community. During the month of June 2025, troopers responded to 152 calls for service in the town of Thompson. Of these calls for service, the most notable are 9 accidents, 26 investigations. There were no burglaries or larcenies, and there was 117 non-reportable matters. In addition to the above investigations, troopers conducted the following motor vehicle enforcement. There were 3 DUIs, 1 traffic citation, and 6 written warnings. Additionally, I just provided for you a copy of correspondence that came through today in regard to a resident, and she was really expounding on the virtues of our recreation program and how it improves the quality of life for people that live in town. We also received correspondence today from our animal control officer, Brianna Bardier. Any other correspondence to bring before the board?
And
Is there one more?
the one for the animal control.
Yeah, that's the one. I just said, oh, I didn't copy it because it was sent to all of us.
Oh, okay, because
I only copied the one that was just sent to.
all right,
us.
because
Yeah,
so
'cause
we
you
got
got
it.
it,
Okay,
yeah.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
it yet.
Oh, okay, sorry about that.
Well, it just came in a couple hours ago.
Oh, okay.
All right, with that. If there's no other correspondence, we will open the floor to selectmen comments.
The only thing that I've got was actually a couple things. Well, probably directed at Stephen
Mhm.
John, the cooling center.
Mhm.
That I guess they opened it for
Till 5, yeah, I changed it.
just till 5. Okay, but it's open until what, through Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, because I think that's what the governor had said.
Right.
I did notice that we are keeping it open till 5. Based on the memo that went out that we got. The library staff is breaking for lunch, whatever time it is.
Cool.
Which is for the library itself.
Correct.
Okay, so with that being said, I have to assume that from whenever the library opens till 5 o'clock, that cooling center is open. If we're gonna be open for the cooling center. And that even if they close the library side of it, which they drop the gate and keep anybody from going in. we should be able to serve the seniors their lunch, because that's all run by itself. And that's strict, nobody needs to be there. With that,
Right.
because that comes in from, what do you call, yes, thank you, TVCCA. So, but I guess the understanding was that was closed down as well.
The library board of trustees had decided that they did not have custodial staff to clean up post activities. So that was a decision that was made. I know Amanda's been working on a potential alternate location.
I was wondering if there was an
Yeah.
alternate location and I was gonna ask you.
I would,
We'll open it
I would
up
hope we would
to
be
citizen
able to
comments.
accommodate
Wait,
that,
Yeah.
or that the, between TVCCA and our seniors, that they would just, they're very good at doing housekeeping for what they do there.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the library is not the only cooling center. The school is also a designated cooling center. Is that correct?
No,
I didn't
It
think
is
so.
not? We're sure?
sure. Town halls.
We could use town hall. And Thursday, we're open until 6, so we could make
And
an announcement that we're here
if
until
if that
6.
closes for some reason, I told them, call me and I'll open town hall.
I don't know why I could have sworn that. it was
And under
called
normal
the
conditions,
designated-
you'd be using this room?
Yeah.
And
That's not very cool, but
Well,
that is
it might be
exactly why.
cooler
it's
than what's outside.
Outside, but,
side.
so, but, if we could look into that senior lunch program and that,
Yes.
and get that to work, I think that it, plus, I'm sure some of those seniors are probably using that as cooling as well.
Center. Correct.
And I think there was some discussion about having them home delivered meals. Was that anything
That's-
that was a possibility?
Yes, and they
So
were
that's,
working on
that meals can be home delivered meals.
Yeah, the only thing with that is they deliver. Oh,
They deliver once or twice a week,
yeah, and the rest are frozen.
right?
So I mean,
Well, I mean, what they've lost in essence is some of the socialization, which is important.
yeah, which
for
is
them.
very
But
important with the
let's
cooling. and
Also, remember that this is a temporary measure.
It's not a
It's
permanent.
not permanent. If it was permanent, we'd be very.
Well, no,
concerned.
but I'm just making that comment because I
Right.
know the library itself, because they gotta check books and everything, but the community
They're on a
center,
very, very limited staff right now.
yeah, but I mean, that usually runs itself pretty much, the
Well, I mean,
usage of the rooms.
But
You're
if it's
making-
Especially
closed-
for that
If it's
program.
closed, it's closed. Then we make an exception for one, then we do another. If we can find an alternate
And I would think
location,
that,
which I'm seeing a nodding head and a smile. So I think we can maybe,
I think that one we should be able to work out because of the seniors, the ones that are using it. It's their meal, everything else, and,
hey, I'm with you.
okay.
that's,
We'll
yeah,
find a way to accommodate that.
And that's what Amanda's working on.
that's, yeah.
So,
But I agree with you. I just think that the library is closed, it's closed.
Yeah, the library itself, you're
I
right.
mean, the
That room
community
is
center,
closed.
the
I got no
community
problem with that.
center is closed, it's closed.
any other selectmen comments?
Now we got budget on the
Right.
discussion here, so.
And we have the ACO on here
NECOG,
too, right?
NECOG
Yeah,
services,
NECOG
yeah.
services, okay, so no, it's been a rough week for some people, and I know that that's some of the furloughs have been tough for the employees, and I thank them for their patience and understanding. And I'm hopeful that our budget will pass the next time around, so they can come back to work, and this is not easy for anybody, and I'm sure the decisions, that were made were not easy. And it's the will of the people, so we have to kind of go with what their wishes are. I know tomorrow night is the Thursday night is the Board of
Thursday.
Finance meeting, when they'll make some more adjustments, and we'll have hopefully they will complete their process, and we'll be able to go back out to referendum.
But
The
there's always a possibility they may not
You're
complete
right.
their process.
You're right,
Based on what the thoughts are, and
these are tough decisions.
Yeah.
And they're not things that I know the board members are not taking them lightly, and every single one of them anguishes over them. And having sat in that seat, I know it's not easy. So they may want a little more time. They may not be able to come to terms.
with that, then we probably need to set a temporary mill rate.
Right. Which we discussed on Monday. last Monday.
Whether we set it tonight or set it Thursday night after their meeting, but, yeah. We do need to, do something, because they may want more time to look more in depth into this.
Well, we will have a meeting planned. Shoot, that should have been posted. Might still be time. I'll have Marie do it. Marie's been out on family medical. Might still have time because we're supposed to meet after, unless we can meet on Friday.
Well,
Friday morning.
I can do Zoom on
Can
Friday
you do
morning.
Friday morning?
I'll be working, but that's why I had suggested during our meeting that we had to put that on the agenda following the Board of Finance meeting.
Right, right.
And we may not exercise it, but at least have it there automatically, because we know we're gonna send it out for,
He's saying the agenda didn't go out for the meeting
Right.
after the Board of Finance meeting. That's
yeah,
why
but she's got time to do that, because it's only 24 hours.
Well,
That's what she-
48 if
It's
we're on Zoom
48.
as well.
Yeah, so you got plenty of time tomorrow morning to. Well,
No,
Yeah.
it has to get out tonight. I will try to reach out to Marie tonight to see if she can just post something quickly.
if not Friday morning,
Right.
I may be able to, I may not, because I'll be working.
Okay. So I had a statement, obviously, a lot of things have happened since last Friday. I really want to reiterate that a lot of thought went into this. I conferred and worked together with Rob Wurge, our Board of Finance Chair, getting numbers and facts and figures from our Finance Director, Bill Steglitz. And I just really wanted to I have a statement that I'd like to read if the board, if it pleases the board.
Sure.
So statement from First Selectman. Nearly 6 years ago, when I began my tenure as First Selectman, I committed to operating the town of Thompson with discipline, accountability, and long-term planning. The long-term planning of a well-run business. That commitment remains unchanged. Unfortunately, this year we are facing a serious financial crisis. 3 budget proposals presented by the Board of Finance have been rejected by voters. As a result, the town's cash reserves will not sustain operations beyond the next 2 months. The consequences of these failed budget referendums are real, and in some cases irreversible. Several important road improvement projects, including Church Street, Elmwood Hill Road, Azad Road, Hill Road, Bonnet Ave, Lillian Ave, Indian Inn Road, Elaine Street, and Floral Ave, are now indefinitely postponed. These projects are casualties of a budget impasse that has left us without the funding necessary to proceed on these projects. In addition, the delay to tax revenue collection has directly impacted projected interest income. This means even our anticipated income in the current proposed budget is already reduced, compounding the financial crisis. We had also reached the point where employee furloughs have become unavoidable. In the private sector, furloughs are used to preserve cash reserves and reduce costs in times of financial distress. This is no different. As a result of these furloughs, some services have been reduced or suspended. And with the full support of the Library Board of Trustees, upon their recommendation, the community center is now closed until further notice due to reductions in custodial and library staffing. And we are hoping these measures are temporary. That is my point of view, and it's been a hard couple of days, not just for me, but for the employees. And I really hope we can bring them back as soon as
Soon.
possible.
So,
And that's all I have. So with that, we will open the floor to selectmen comments and Sally White.
Citizens' comments.
Citizen comments. And Sally White has had her hand up, so I'm going to call on Ms. Sally White. Please state your name and address.
Good evening, Sally White, 308 East Thompson Road. I'm going to put my hand down here. And I'm recalling having listened to the Board of Finance meeting, the last one, that I don't know if you were present or on Zoom, Amy, but I remember you saying something to the effect, and obviously be a rough paraphrase, but you can, if you could perhaps clarify. It stuck in my mind that you said something to the effect of that setting a temporary mill rate would be difficult for the tax office to handle. And I'm not sure I understood that, because when a mill rate is set, they'll go ahead and get bills out. And if a temporary mill rate was set, they would have gotten bills out. So I'm a bit perplexed about that. And I wonder, have all of the disruptions in services in each of the furloughs been put on the website? Is that totally transparent to the public? Or if it isn't, I wondered if you could read off which positions have been furloughed. I think that it would be instructive to people. Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't recall saying what you said. I'll go back and look at the last Board of Finance meeting. That was never anything, a thought in my brain that it would be difficult. I thought that it would upset taxpayers that have been voting no. And I just wanted to give it one more try with the fourth referendum. And at the Monday meeting that we had with the Board of Selectmen, I did state that should the budget fail a fourth time, that we would absolutely move forward with discussing setting that temporary mill rate. As far as positions that have been furloughed, there were 7 at Public Works, 2 of which, one was the crew leader, one was the mechanic. There were, I believe, 9 at the library. Some are partials. There are 4 at Town Hall, some of which were partials. I think that,
Rec department,
and then animal control.
rec?
Rec department did not, because we were short-staffed to begin with, and the
Okay.
summer program self-funded.
Right, and then animal control, okay.
And I think that was everything. Ms. Valerie Clark, citizen comments. Please state your name and address.
Valerie Clark, Elm Road. Having listened to what Ms. White spoke about, indeed, her recollection, I believe, is correct. I remember hearing that it was going to be difficult for the tax office if there was an interim rate because of refunds and adjustments. I also-
You don't have to do that.
I also recall being very upset because someone said that the only people who were good stewards of the town were the ones who were lining up at the tax office. And I was not happy to have heard that. So with what I was planning to say prior to that is that at the last Board of Finance meeting, the Board of Finance recommended that the Board of Selectmen set an interim mill rate. The first selectman unilaterally, without the input from the other 2 selectmen, chose to furlough instead. I find it embarrassing and an embarrassment to the town to see newspapers reporting and quoting the first selectman as saying that furloughs were the only choice, when they were not. Setting a temporary mill rate was a choice, and in fact, the one that was recommended by the Board of Finance. Separately, as a citizen, I would like to know, and I know Ms. White just alluded to this too, I would like to know and hear a discussion regarding the criteria that was used to determine what a quote essential employee actually is. As well, I recommend that tonight a majority of the selectmen vote to set an interim mill rate. Given the members of the Board of Finance were bantering at their last meeting about settling at 19 mills, which I personally think is still higher than the townspeople are expecting, I would recommend 19 mills as an interim rate, as it allows the taxpayers to see the impact of such a rate. Of course, a crisp and effective explanatory note should be included with the interim bill, explaining that motor vehicle taxes will be due later, and that the final amount of property tax owed for the year might be higher or lower depending on the final approved budget, and that the year's bills will be adjusted accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. We value your thoughts. I do recall that in Monday's meeting, you actually implored us to reduce staffing at town hall. So I do remember that being
Right.
said.
If I can speak to that,
No,
that
well,
was,
I'll-
I'm sorry, that
Go back
if
and
you're
forth. Made
interpreting,
the recommendation.
no, the recommendation was that when you set the new budget and cutting the new budget, that you examine staffing. I did never once did I say furloughs were a recommendation.
Well, we all can debate what each other said. We can look back at the recordings. I would say that I think it's okay if the Board of Selectmen consider this. The next Board of Finance meeting is Thursday. I will make sure we get an agenda published today. And for that evening, after the Board of Finance meeting, and then we can discuss if as a group, we've changed our opinion about.
But we
setting a
did
mill rate.
have, just for clarification, a lengthy discussion about setting a temporary mill rate, and it was a consensus that we would hold off. So it was not your decision.
Thank
It
you.
was a consensus, and I just want to verify that, and that is recorded. And the other comment, I don't the steward comment, I don't know. I had no idea that, I don't know what that was about.
I wasn't, the very last Board of Finance meeting, I wasn't in the meeting for a portion of it either, because I was waiting for the final results for them down here. So.
Right.
Mhm. So. Any other selectmen comments? I mean, I keep doing that. Any other citizen comments on the Zoom audience? Citizen comments on the Zoom audience? All right, we're gonna move to here inside Town Hall. Wait, oh, hold on. Amanda Goding.
Hello,
Please state
thank
your
you,
name.
Miss St. Ange. Amanda Godding, 21 Rachel Drive, North Grosvenordale.
Okay.
I'm curious, could you please tell me what will happen if we fail this budget referendum for a fourth time?
Well, we had discussed at a meeting on Monday, and it's been discussed potentially setting a temporary mill rate. That doesn't return things to normal. We are still going to require the public to approve a budget before we can actually start operating normally. So until the public, the taxpayers approve a budget, even if we set a mill rate, we're still going to be on a spending freeze for the most part.
Okay, thank you for that information. I was also curious, have there been any discussions about breaking up the budget like it used to be pre-COVID-19? As I heard, I might be mistaken on that information.
There has been a lot of discussion in the past, and I'd be happy to share with you a recording from a Board of Finance meeting before those budgets were put back together, where the Board of Finance recommended and approved the combining of those two budgets. They're still two separate budgets. They're just combined into one vote.
Okay, I'm
Budget.
still learning a lot of this stuff, so I appreciate your information.
Yeah, and in reality, Selectman Witkowski just reminded me, and just to share with you that it is still one budget. It comes out of one fund. It comes out of one checkbook.
Okay. I've heard that some of our fellow communities vote on their budgets as different areas that they're putting towards their budgets, such as we'll put this much yes or no to highway department, we'll put this much yes or no towards community funds, community recreation, we'll put this much funds towards education. Is that true?
I can't
That
speak.
you know?
You know of any, Ken?
There are still some towns that are out there that do, voting on the school
Line
part
items.
and the town
Yes.
government.
She's asking about
no.
every line item.
No, not unless you go to a town meeting where we do it under 2% increase, where they actually can get into the budget, but they can't touch the school side because that's a flat dollar amount.
Right.
Even
Okay.
with the government side and the school side, it was used before for many years as a guide to the Board of Finance, what the public was thinking, that what side they were happy with, whether it was both, just one, or neither, and it would give them some guidance. But no matter what, both sides have to pass in order for a budget to be approved,
Right.
because it comes down to a
And we are not
Bottom
a
line.
charter town, we're an ordinance town.
state. Yes.
So we have our own ordinances that we follow.
Okay, so was the educational budget separated last year? Or did I just not understand what I was reading?
Hasn't been separated since,
2021.
had
Yeah,
nothing
last
to
4
do with
years.
COVID.
Yeah,
Okay, that's just on me then. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
thank you. Thank you for attending the meeting tonight.
Thank you.
Of course. Have a great night.
You too. Any other citizen comments from the Zoom audience? All right, moving to the room. Any citizen comments? State your name and address. We'll begin with Amanda.
Amanda Lincoln, I live at 20 Leon Street. So as far as the senior lunches go, myself, Weekend Warriors, and the Thompson Senior Citizens Club have been working on finding an alternative location. So we have been in talks with Teague to have it either placed at Teague or also at Quinnebog Volunteer Fire Department. We have implored that TVCCA reaches out to either of those locations. And at the end of the day, it is their duty to find another spot. We have just facilitated that and made that happen. It's looking that that's possibly to start next week, if everything goes well. I know that next week, the TVCCA was also going to be starting to do, homebound lunches, bringing lunches to people. And some of the seniors in town are also going to Putnam to have lunch as well. As far as the recreation department goes, it's really important to have all of this funding in the recreation department, not only for socialization for the seniors, but also for physical and mental wellness. Just for seniors, just to put it in perspective, the library has been taking stats in March, April, May, and June. On an average, senior lunch served 259 people. For bingo, there was anywhere from 40 to 50 people every Tuesday. For pound exercise, there was 602 people served from March, April, May, and June. Chair yoga, the same thing, about 30 to 40 people every month. Regular yoga had stopped because of due to the instructor not being able to fulfill that anymore. She had to take a medical leave of absence along with the Zumba instructor. But like line dancing really has amped up. We have anywhere from 30 to 40 people registered for that in a month. Lifelong learning is one of the programs that we operate out of the recreation department through ARPA funds. That serves anywhere from 20 to 30 people a month. My craft classes that I do out of there, that's based out of the ARPA funds grant, that 25 people to 6 people, it depends. Our full body wellness, which also is offered to adults in the community, we had 68 people come to those programs. So as far as that goes, I know it has been said and that recreation is a bunch of fluff, and I find that incredibly offensive. I have been in recreation over 20 years, and it is so much more than just arts and crafts. It's providing affordable childcare for your families. It's providing a service. It's providing camaraderie. It's providing so much more than just that. Keeping your mind, body, and soul physically active and spiritually active.
And the programs are self-supported.
The programs are self-funded and self-supported. I was able to secure a $24,000 grant to support senior programs. We were able to get a grant to support the purchasing the senior van. So all of those things, we are supporting our own department. We are charging a nominal fee, if that. We try to keep our fees for the classes very low, sorry. but we are working very hard. We partner with different organizations in town. We partner with T, we partner with the library. We know that our budgets are small, but we know that if we come together as a community, that we can make things happen. We had 850 people show up to the Touch a Truck event at Riverside Park this past June. 850 from the first time that we had it 3 years ago. Miss Flynn and I from the library partnered together. We had maybe 100, 200 people. So for that to rise in attendance from 100, 200 to 850 people, that speaks volume for our partnership.
Thank you, Amanda.
If I could just comment back, I mean, I think the rec department does an amazing job. And I don't think this board would deny you a dollar. It is not us. It is the voters that are voting. And I think you personally do a great job. And I've attended some of your programs, and I value the work that you do. I know you. You are not fluff. You are valued, and you do a fabulous job. And if we can continue with every dollar amount that we
And
have
I
in the
go
rec
out for
department,
grants. I go out for
and
grants.
you
I'm
work very
constantly
hard.
looking for
Yes,
grants, and
yes.
that's what everybody has to do. We have to be able to come together and work together.
agreed, because it is one budget, and we are one town and one community, and we don't grow when we're separated.
Exactly. And
So
and
I
we're not gonna
appreciate-
Be able to flourish, where we need to work together and come together.
Yes.
Just one question, one comment, one question for you. Yes, rec does an amazing job between the seniors and the summer camps and everything else that goes on. It's needed in the town. The other thing you were saying, QVFD and TEAG
Yes.
for the senior programs?
For those are gonna be where the potential senior lunch could be. TVCCA is reaching out to either of those. Sally is still open.
Oh, yeah, she just,
Yeah,
yeah, she's been quiet up in.
But you said you were working with somebody other than TEAG,
Weekend Warriors,
and what was it gonna be their
And-
involvement?
their involvement was to help us facilitate and open the building and make sure that that TVCCA would be able to get into the building.
The only comment that I have to that, because we were talking about the senior program,
Mhm.
keeping it at the location. If we have somebody that is gonna help do the maintenance and clean up and do the function, it would
Yeah.
make more sense to stay right where they're used to going. If we could do that,
Mhm.
if they're gonna assume the
My
facilitating it.
only concern, sorry if I'm speaking out of turn, my only concern is if we move the lunch permanently from the community center, that my programs will not be as well attended. And the only reason I say that is because it's so easy to come from a craft class to go have lunch, to
Yes.
come to another activity. The
Yes.
senior center, when I went for that $24,000 grant, room 1 was secured for senior programs. Okay, that was the final nail that got that grant for us. So we have to have a location for senior programs, and I will push to continue to have room 1. I understand that this is temporary,
That was my
but room 1 at the community center, that is for senior programs. That's how I got my grant funding, and that's where I'm gonna stand on my soapbox.
It is temporary.
I completely
So we
understand
have to
that.
do
That's
with
why-
what we have,
Right,
and
and
they
that's
have
why we're
closed it.
working.
So working to find another place, it's temporary.
And I completely understand that.
We
So
can
a
get
lot
through
of the other
this.
Programs that, and I provided a list to Mr. St. Ange, and I will be posting it on the Facebook page for the rec department, and it shows that we are still holding almost 100% of the programs. The only program that we're not having is the bus trip out to Beaver Tail State Park in July. Other than that, the locations may have changed, but we are still having the programs. So they are fully ARPA funded.
Just hang in there.
I am.
It's
I am
temporary.
I love my community. I'm born and raised in Thompson, so
I
I'm not
know.
going anywhere, people.
But again, if we can make the senior program work with
Yes,
the
and I
help of the
will. And
weekend
that- and I-
warriors
and I
at the
will-
library, that would be
Yes,
the ideal thing to do.
yes. And that's Michael.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other citizen comments?
Herb Day, 936 Town Farm Road. If you need an able body to do custodial work, I'll do it. for you.
Okay, great, excellent.
Take his name and number.
I got his number. I've got his number in my phone.
Well, I'm kidding.
Very good. Any other citizen comments? Yes, Mr. O'Brien.
Wayne O'Brien, 108 Fabian Road. I want to thank all of you personally for running, doing what you do, because you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm too whatever, but the fact of the matter is, we're in a tough spot. And oh, by the way, if you don't look down the road to next year, you got an even tougher problem, because you're looking at about 1.3 deficit for next year before you even start building your budget. You're looking at an over a 2 mil increase for next year after people have had $4,000 increases on their taxes. Me, I'm looking at 1,000. You know what? That's another $700. I'm a senior citizen. I'm on Social Security. My wife is on Social Security. We both have small pensions. Talk about getting squeezed. Hello? And I mean, people are saying, what are you doing? I mean, this reval caused you guys all kinds of problems, because you know what? You went from 700 and something million dollars to 1.1 billion. And I think something seriously went wrong. You know, if you were down around $200 million increase, you probably wouldn't be having the problem you're having. But when you're looking at a 2 mil increase with the kind of thing that happened, all of a sudden next year's a $700 increase on people's taxes. And Board of Finance goes, I don't care. I don't want to know about next year. I just want to get through this year. You can't have that. The town, you just said you have to have long-term planning. You can't be going from year to year to year to year, because you know what? If you think this is bad, what's gonna happen next year? You know, seriously, we need as a community to come together, but in the same respect, I was at the Board of Finance meeting, but probably not the last one, because I probably didn't know about it. It was after the third vote, was it?
Yes.
I missed it, because I didn't know about it. I was there, I watched them. They did their thing, they cut the school by $400,000. Okay, $400,000, they brought it down to $550,000. They took $290,000 from the rainy day fund, and guess where that went? Over to the school. So they really didn't get cut, so the rainy day funds.
No, that's not accurate. I'm sorry, the 290,000 went in to offset the budget. It did not go to the school, and I have to.
Your budget is still flat. So where did it go?
Ours is minus flat.
Don't want to get into a back and forth. I sat there, I asked him the question. I looked at him straight out and I said, it looks like you're still at $1 million for the school. And he looked at me and he goes, any more citizen comment? Moving on. There's no answer. I was up there at that school thing. You guys said, turn around and ask us the question, we'll answer it. No, it doesn't happen. You told me no. You told me no, because guess what? We don't want to answer those questions. We don't want it. The only place it happens is here,
No idea.
right here. All the other committees, they don't want to answer anybody's question. You can make a comment and then they just move on. Why can't we have answers? I asked you that.
You asked
And
me?
Yes,
Yes,
I
you
did
did,
ask
and I
you.
explained to
You
you that
asked-
we do engage and we do answer questions. We don't have to.
right here.
It's, we don't run
This
the
is
other
only
boards.
Committee that does it. All the other committees turn around and look, and I was up there on that Wednesday night, and just go ask these people, go to these committee meetings and ask the question. You can't get an answer from them. You're blocked. It's not right. We're taxpayers. We're the guys that actually make the community come together and do what has to be
We're
done.
taxpayers too. We're,
I understand how much work,
this
just
is not
read-
fun sitting up here and having you point your finger at
I'm
us. And
not
if that's
pointing-
what's happening at other meetings, then maybe that's why they shut down.
I'm not.
I'm
pointing
just saying.
fingers. I asked a question, because I looked at his board that he had on the projector, and
Can we
it
move
showed
on?
that he
Yeah,
was
We
still
have a
there.
heavy.
But what you're saying is something that happened at another board and another time at another
Correct.
date. So,
But you
Can
told
you-
us at that meeting Wednesday, up there at that school, that we should turn around, go to the meeting and ask questions.
oh, okay.
And guess what? I'm telling you, I've
What's your
been there,
question?
and you know what? They don't answer it.
Okay, Mr. O'Brien, what's your question?
My question was, he had brought it down
Who's
for
he?
the guy who was head of the Board of
The
Finance.
chairman of the Board of Finance.
He turned around, well, we're at $500-something for the school. Okay, I asked him. It looks like you're still at $950,000. You're almost at $1 million. Can
I,
you ask me how that,
what I would
and he turned around and
suggest,
he looked at me and he goes, any other comments?
can,
Moving on.
yeah, I don't know when that happened or
That was
what
That
happened.
was before the third vote.
Okay, but if you have questions about the numbers, Bill Steglitz spent 2 hours with a resident, literally 2 hours with a resident. If
He
you would
talked to me.
like to
He'll
sit
talk to me.
down,
He's a wonderful guy.
Bill won't, right.
Yeah, he's a
So Bill
wonderful
is
guy.
there, Bill is the
He
numbers
talked-
guy.
He talked to me, you know, and everything else. He's a great, I
Good.
have never, ever gotten into a shouting match, screaming,
Right.
or anything with anybody here in this town. Because you know what? They're doing a job I don't want to do.
Okay,
But I respect you all, but the fact of the matter is, when we ask a question, it would be nice if we got answers, not any other citizen comment, moving on. That's not fair.
right. Well, citizen comments are citizen comments. There isn't supposed to, we want to engage.
This board.
But we don't have to. So, Ms. Lincoln,
I'm just wondering if the community is aware that there are tax breaks for the elderly, the disabled, veterans, whether it be, you know, if they're retired servicemen or if they're current servicemen, that there is incentives for them to come and go through that.
we have reviewed that and we've gone over that on many public meetings, so thank you.
I'm also wondering,
Okay,
to kind of piggyback on his side, how come there's not one person from each board here at a Board of Selectmen's meeting? If there are questions in regards to their boards, I understand that they have. their
If
own
there are
meetings.
questions regarding the other boards, then you have to go to their meetings.
Okay.
Because we are selectmen, we only have this is what we, yeah, and so we can't even comment. But the other board, you can't attend every meeting in
I
town.
gotcha.
Only Amy does that.
But there are times if you pose a question, we can get you an answer.
right, absolutely.
We always try to.
Any other citizen comments in the room? Any more on Zoom? All right, we will move on. Agenda item 6. Joshua Clark, request to use the town-owned land behind 1017 Riverside Drive. Are you Joshua, Mr. Clark? So do you want to just let us know what you're thinking? I know
Yeah,
we
so,
did get the email.
I'm trying to
It was in our packet.
at my college that I just graduated from. I'm trying to bring that to a community
Yep.
aspect. I actually started the flag football program back in March. We like that field. I'm actually looking at hopefully being able to rent the upstairs of the old Raptors building to start my own strength and conditioning program from youth on up to college age individuals. With that being said, I noticed the field in the background behind that building, and I was like, that'd be an awesome spot to have my field, because my office, my gym would be right there, and the field would be accessible for me right there. With that, speaking with Amanda with ideas of things, to bring more sports to this town for adults as well as youth. I just got authorized for NFL flag football as well as NHL street hockey
Okay.
that I'm gonna try and bring to the town. I do not want to go any other town because this is where I live now. But I do want to bring adult flag football as well as probably adult soccer to the area, and I mapped out the field, really like the size of all that. Knowing that it is owned through you guys, the town itself, I should say, that was my request to see if I could go ahead and rent it, use it, whatever. I could keep it myself if need be. I wouldn't need the town to do anything. I live 2 miles down the road. I can bring it along, take care of the lawn myself.
Okay, Mr. Clark, if you can come a little closer to this microphone, there are people online, sometimes,
It doesn't pick.
I always hear it, so sometimes it could be. a
Want me to sit
glitch.
right here?
Sure, that would be great. So just in case anybody missed it in the Zoom audience, if you're familiar with what used to be the Knights of Columbus and used to be more recently drafters, there is a town-owned field behind that building. And Mr. Clark is looking to either lease or rent the field in order to run some programming for flag football for both youth and adults. And he also noted that he was looking into renting the space, the first floor that used to be event space of the drafters. So
When are you looking to start these programs? This year or next year?
Probably next year, because it's getting close to the end of the summer. We're gonna try and start our street hockey this fall. But getting all our websites and everything and up and running, it's getting a little too slow to do so. So I would rather take my time, make sure everything's ready.
Yeah.
Announce my leagues, go ahead and start in the spring like I did for the flag football right across the street here.
Street hockey on grass?
Oh, no. On tar.
On the pavement? Is there
Yeah.
pavement back there? know
No, there's
that.
no pavement there. There's other places. I know the basketball. court,
Oh, so
we're
not
gonna-
there, you're not gonna do the street
Correct.
hockey there,
Now,
okay.
If I
'Cause,
get,
yeah,
it-
street-
if I get the facility, if that is purchased and I'm able to rent upstairs, we can fit a street hockey court upstairs.
Yeah.
As well as.
Yeah.
Pickleball to go.
Well,
what do you think?
Like with any other piece of property that the
Mhm.
town has, it is open to public usage and it's requested, whether it's through recreation or through the selectmen's office for usage. You know, there'd be no fees. I jotted down some quick notes.
Yeah.
Definitely no alcohol. Allow public to use the field. It's open to anybody except for when you've got something scheduled, which would be normal criteria, but like we do at Riverside Park.
Mhm.
Uh,
Insurance.
the liability for that and, you had mentioned in your letter about doing some upgrade to the, weeds in the grass.
Yeah,
I mean, that would be on you.
Yeah.
We're not going to, do any of that and whatever the agreement can be that we normally use as a process, just put it in writing and I don't have an issue with it. It's,
I think it would be great for the town, for the.
but as long as we
residents of
cover
the
our
town.
bases.
What?
As long as we cover our bases
Cover our
like we do
bases
with
and-
every other league and stuff that uses,
Yeah.
We
that
do
type of-
have a resident that's asking, where in town do you live? Just a
I
street
live right on
across.
Riverside Drive. right-
Riverside Drive?
2 miles
Okay.
north of them.
All right,
But I mean, whatever the
so I think
process.
flesh out the details
Mhm. And then come to you guys.
and then just, I think,
You can
yeah, we'll
just send
just
it
work
to
out some
first
type of
selectman, yeah.
agreement. Yeah, we just
Okay.
need to know that you have the proper insurance.
Perfect.
Yeah,
We'll
'cause-
make something that states, no alcohol on the premises, that sort of.
Which is
thing.
normal, and we
And the
don't know what's
insurance.
under the field, we don't
Right.
know what rocks are there
Mhm.
or anything of that nature. Cause that was cleared
We'd have to be.
years
exempt
ago
from
when
liability.
the
Yes,
KFC club, whatever, I forget what their name was after. That was maintaining it at that time.
So perfect. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks
Appreciate
for
it.
today.
Yeah,
It's good to meet you.
Same here. Thank you.
All right, the next request. Dean LaPearl requests to operate his food truck in the library parking lot Mondays and Fridays, and Dean is here with us right now, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
That's correct.
All right, come closer so everybody in the Zoom audience can hear you.
So my name is Dean LaPowell. I'm the owner of Homestead Foodie Shed. It's a panini trail. We operate on River Street right now next to the mill. We're looking to move right across the street from the mill in the library parking lot. If you pull into the library, there's 4 spots right there that are never used.
Mhm.
We like to set up there just twice a week. My wife does the cooking and she's a horse vet in the middle of Connecticut. And she works Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Okay.
So we're only looking to do Mondays and Fridays. When it's not really, really hot. Sometimes we can't do it because there's no AC in this trailer and.
It'll be brutal.
Get pretty warm in there. We're set up on River Street right now because, I work for the owner of the mill.
Yeah.
John, and, he doesn't care. And I ended up doing all the mowing on the river trail and keeping the upkeep going on that because it looked better for the truck, you know what I mean? Which I'll still do. But we like to be right across the street. I can keep an eye on the mill and it's right there. And people come around the corner, one of the biggest reasons we made a sign at the bottom of the road. But when you come around that corner or you're coming down the hill, by the time you see that sign. I mean, you're doing 35, 40 miles an hour, nobody stops. So, cause they have to go all the way around and come back in the other way and everyone thinks that road is still a mess. I did fix it, by the way, slightly. But they don't pull it.
Right.
So if we're seen coming down from Milltown or around the corner, I think we would, it'd be for our best interest.
Obviously, I mean, I put some thought into this, and when you go into cities, there's food trucks. I certainly want to encourage commerce. But
Is it our decision to
I don't
make?
know that there's precedence, so
Is it our
Not that I'm
decision to
aware
make
of.
I would think it's our decision to make.
library parking lot?
Oh, the library parking
That's what I went to the
planner.
that office actually, and she said it was up to the select.
Well, it is town property.
True, true.
So, not the actual community center.
And there is no alcohol.
Right.
No, all trash will be picked up. That's basically
I
it.
mean, that goes through normal requests for property usage
Mhm.
as well. I'll just throw out one thing, just thinking. You probably could get some pushback because they're generating income off of town property,
I thought that too.
okay?
What was it? I'm sorry.
That you're generating income off of
Right.
town property.
Mhm.
The,
That was my one concern.
there's two ways that you can handle that, is to give a rental fee for the couple of days, or you do a small percentage of the sales. So
That could be a hassle, doing a.
I'm just
No,
throwing a way of
yeah, doing a.
something. Those would be the two, things of that nature. So.
I think it's a good idea, and I didn't know that it existed in town, so having it, you're saying you've already been working over at the mill.
Yeah,
When'd you start, Dino? I noticed you the other
4
day.
weeks. Yeah, we've
Has it
been
been that
there
long?
4 weeks, Mondays and Fridays. We've been there roughly about 4 weeks.
I actually noticed it last Friday after the MISRAC meeting.
Well, I started, let's see, I started working at this mill June 1st, so I started the food truck. We placed it there like the second week, so yeah, the second week of June, second or third week of June, we started it over there. So it's been about 4 weeks. It's been okay. We're getting the traffic coming from the library actually, because when they pull out of the library during their events, they see the sign. You know what I mean? The ones that are doing 40, they don't stop. So it's, the numbers are kind of low. We want to keep it going. Because when, construction ever starts at the mill, we're gonna be there for the workers.
Right.
That's the ultimate goal. You know what I mean?
Great opportunity.
Yeah, I'm also in charge of the Dudley mill, the Stevens Linen mill, and we're also gonna be there a couple days a week as well.
I think, like I said, the concerns are gonna be generating income, so figure out what whether it's progressive as things pick up,
That's what I was.
a
going over in my
percentage,
head.
or, just a flat per day fee, whatever.
How about I keep mowing and weed whacking the entire river trail on the private road? And that's my donation. I like that. It's a lot of work, actually.
Yeah.
There's nobody's doing it. And it's that's the state's supposed to be doing it, and they don't.
And you're licensed, you have your food.
Oh, yeah.
permit.
Oh, he's gotta go to the Board of Health.
Oh, yeah, we went,
Yeah.
no, we've already did.
Yep.
Board of Health, yeah, we're up and running. Fire marshal inspection was 4 weeks ago. So everything, yeah, we got everything.
So if you have the consensus of this board, you would be able to work through the details?
We'd have to work through the details, yeah, potentially.
I think we could give it a shot. I'm okay with
I have,
it.
I have no issue with
So
it as
it's
long as
Again, just.
there
a-
is some
type
form,
of agreement and maybe
A
some,
formal agreement
form
and some sort of
of
exchange
some,
of.
compensation, whether it's man hour or whatever it may be.
okay,
That makes sense.
okay. All right. I will be in touch.
Very good. I'm gonna go outside where it's cold.
Good
I
luck.
doubt that.
Might be.
Have a good day.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. All right, moving on, agenda item 9, Recreation Department new hires. So we had lost a few of the adventure camp staff. So Brian and Amanda scrambled between each of them to find, most importantly, certified lifeguards, and experienced counselors. So they are making the request that we approve the hire, so these kids can, not
And this
kids,
is
these
covered.
people can start.
These are replacement, they're not
Yeah,
new
sim-
staff,
they're
these are just
simply
simply,
replacement, we're just
yep, so
replacing.
I'll
They
make the
are new,
motion.
they've never worked for the
Right,
program
we had
before.
had 4, and then they decided to go another direction, and we just needed to, we did our best in the department to fill in hours, and use the staff that we had, but we did need another lifeguard and another counselor.
So what do you got, 4 to 6 weeks?
So our camp runs from 6:23 and it ends on 8:15.
So you're still short a counselor?
No, we were able to fill that with, some of our part-timers. that
Oh,
we were
good, good.
So, but we still need that floater, just if someone needs a vacation day or someone gets sick, but. We're chugging along.
But this is covered through the funding through the
It is,
camp. and
it's completely covered through,
So it's just,
the camp.
just us approving,
it's just you.
allowing to
approving.
bring them on.
Correct.
Okay, so
But the
I'll
cost is covered.
make the motion that we approve the hire of the 3 new employees at the rec department for the summer camp as presented. That covers it, huh?
Yeah, I'll second it based on where the funding is coming from.
Where the funding's coming from?
No, I said based on
Oh.
the clarification of where the funding is.
Oh, okay. Okay, motion and a motion by Suzanne, second by Ken, any further discussion on these potential employees? All in favor of approving the employee hires for Recreation Adventure Camp as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, agenda item 10, resignation, Paul A. Lenke, zoning board of appeals.
Did we already fill that position?
No, well, the alternates move up,
Okay, so
but this is, we hadn't received this actual letter until,
all right, motion to accept Paul Linke zoning board of appeals resignation
Second.
with regrets.
okay, Suzanne has the second. Any discussion? All in favor of approving the resignation, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Agenda item 11, DECD Community Investment Grant, round 5. If you recall, we approved the application. DECD is asking us to approve the resolution to accept the money, because it's all been set and ready to
This
go.
is for the Main Street
This is
project,
the Main Street
Okay.
project, the Main
This is
Street.
2 million.
because we also got money for the mill
That's the
redevelopment.
second one.
Okay, I just wanna,
Wait, which
Yeah.
one is, maybe I'm
there's
looking
2
at.
of them there.
I think
Can
Marie
you
might
do
have
it by
done
money?
backwards.
Yeah,
This is the 4 point. So $4,047,484.
so that's $4,047,484 that are coming into the town
Correct.
for the sidewalk project.
It's the full depth reclamation and reconstruction of the Main Street area,
As
Main
as
Street
was
area.
submitted by grant.
right,
And it's grant funded.
entirely grant funded.
I'll make a motion to authorize the first selectman to sign up on the resolution accepting the money as presented.
And I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion on this resolution?
No,
All right, all in favor?
I,
And I'm gonna abstain only because you're authorizing me. That always seems weird to me.
Passes.
it's your signature that goes on it.
I know. All right, DECD Brownfield, Round 14. This is a grant we've been working on forever. The mill has finally taken ownership. That's cleared a pathway for this as well. So we approved applying for the grant, and now we have to approve
Accepting it.
accepting the grant. Same thing.
And that one is
This is
two,
for
The
the
2.3 million,
that's what I was just gonna say,
Yes.
$2.3 million of grant funded for the reclamation of the mill,
which is an important step for the redevelopment of the mill.
the redevelopment, reclamation, redevelopment.
I'll make a motion to accept the resolution.
I will second it.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor of authorizing me to enter into this resolution, say aye.
I,
Right, and I will abstain.
that was over $6 million.
Yes. All right, at the last meeting that we had, there was, I remember correctly. There was a request to, next Board of Selection meeting, Suzanne requested an agenda item be noted, budget planning, logistics, stuff like that. So that's what the next agenda item is. Agenda item 13, do we want to discuss any potential budget adjustments in the future? For the, maybe make recommendation. I think that's what the gist of what you
I
were saying.
think it was just to keep the conversation going because
Okay.
we were having a pretty healthy conversation.
I can't see at this point,
Right,
where, we've already decimated.
and like
road
Mr. O'Brien
improvement.
said, we're gonna have to play a lot of catch up.
And I kind of went over the budget over the weekend, just trying to, I spent a considerable amount of time combing through it and looking to see 20, I couldn't even find like $25 here or there. There was no,
We were taking 5 and 10 out when we were
I
going over the budget.
I know. You took $20 out of the Board of Selectmen's,
Right.
I honestly wouldn't have a recommendation that I could consciously
Would be in the best
sleep
interest of
on,
the town.
sleep on, like put my head on the pillow and consciously be able to sleep.
It would create more devastation.
It is just,
The downward spiral that's actually been caused by these no votes are just. Yeah. All right, so nothing to discuss?
I wouldn't have a recommendation that I could make, and I can't, and my heart goes out to the Board of Finance members who have to make those decisions.
Because once they make their decisions and the budget gets passed, then we'll have to do what was passed, so whatever cuts they're gonna make, we will add that in after.
So agenda item 14. I had added NECOG services, because this was one area that I really wanted to discuss, and there's two things within NECOG services. The first, I put a lot of thought into this and I wanted to bring it to the board tonight. Animal control. This was, Suzanne and I really, this was our project. Suzanne has a huge heart for it. Since it's been reinstated, there's a lot of things that I've learned. It's not a dog catcher. It's not just about that, and it's not a rescue per se. It is a arm of law enforcement. And unfortunately, without the confidence of budgets being approved, it leaves us in a rough position. We should have dash cams. We should have body cams. We should, by all intents and purposes, have a second animal control officer, because when when the shelter's empty, which isn't all that often, one person can handle it. But when there are lots of dogs, we have to have volunteers, which we have really great volunteers. But then there's the calls in the middle of the night, the calls to locations that aren't necessarily desirable, or there might be threats that the animal control officer will walk into. We've seen it on the news where animal control officers have been shot at. We don't have a law enforcement arm because the public didn't want a resident trooper. We don't have a police department, of course. We don't have Troop D to back us up like we need them to,
So how-
because they've been asked to help. We have a van that's going to need to be replaced at some point. We have a facility that is going to need major updates. There are so many things working against the program. And the town of Thompson never actually signed on with NECOG. And granted, I will say that under the previous leadership, I think that program was failing. Under the new director, Jim Rivers, he's added a lot of staff. He's running it much more like, it's very business minded. He's very focused on making sure that he has the staff that he needs and the facility that he needs. And I think it would behoove us, as much as I hate to say it, to consider switching over to NECOG in this year. I spoke to Mr. Rivers, I spoke to the director, and they can accommodate us.
And the cost is,
$38,000.
And what are we paying now?
The budget is currently 62. But it's more than that because our dog fund is dwindling. Every single year, there's a decent amount that comes out, and granted, we work really hard to fundraise. But it's been shrinking year after year because we have to tap into it.
so currently we, if I remember correctly, that one has been furloughed, the ACO?
Currently, yes, the state ACO and myself have been answering calls.
I think everybody in town knows that the dog shelter, the animal pound, the ACO is my baby. That's the one thing that when I decided to run for selectman that I wanted to see reopened was our dog pound. Because the service that we had was not a service. And they would, and I'd call them many times and they weren't coming out and they weren't keeping our animals safe, our towns people safe. We were not getting what we were paying for. And I can't agree to close the animal shelter. I can't do it in my heart of hearts. I don't. I think there's been a lot of people that have invested a lot of time. I think it kills me that the taxpayers cannot support an animal shelter. This one is hard for me. You know, you've sat next to me when I've
I
fought tooth and nail for this.
believe me, I get it, but we're in such a budget crisis right now with everything that is going on. We probably should have consider it. Get the numbers to see how it pans out, what the future costs are to, you know, what we may have to do up at there, you know, get the accounting done so we have something to work with,
To compare to.
of course.
That's a good idea.
And maybe reach out to some of the towns that are currently using NECOG since Mr. Rivers is now in charge, and see what their thoughts are on the service they're getting.
And I'd like to hear from Mr. Rivers, to
Okay.
hear what he has done to update his shelter, change some of and modify. I've had some people come to me with some very bad experiences there. And I myself personally had some bad experiences, so I would like to hear.
Okay.
I don't think it's a decision that we can take lightly or make quickly.
Okay.
And, I understand that we need to discuss it because the town has put us.
It's not even just about that, to be quite honest. If you put in the time that the volunteers put in, I've put in the past, the ACO goes on vacation, well, we're scrambling to fill in, and Mr. Lafredo and Mr. Day are two of the volunteers who put in a tremendous amount of time.
Well,
And that's what
Thank you for
keeps,
that.
that's what keeps
Thank
the
you.
program running.
It's a liability with that in the law enforcement end of it.
On the law enforcement end, absolutely.
And I'd like to know how NECOG can do it better.
Well, how they're adapting law enforcement.
Yeah.
laws.
Right, well, they have Killingly Police and Troop D that back them up.
But are they
But-
gonna have them here?
But Killingly,
Well, if they're going out on a call.
but
right,
Killingly
Killingly,
PD can't come to
Like going
Thompson.
outside there, yeah.
And maybe they
And
do, but they
Troop D
do,
is-
but they always send two people out. And that's a difference. There'll always be two officers that go out. So,
Let's get a good,
on things that aren't routine, or things that are maybe sketchier.
let's get a good overview of the program and how it's operating now.
Okay.
Let's have Brianna come in, Brianna, right?
Mhm.
Come in and talk with us as well.
Okay.
Because there was a lot of problems going back several years with NECOG and the remote
Well-
control.
We also never signed on fully with them.
No, but what I'm saying is they had their issues internally a number of years ago.
All right, moving on. Any other business to bring before the board tonight?
Other than, unless the board wants to entertain setting a mill rate tonight, we don't have to worry about setting the agenda for, Friday. To get that done.
I would like to wait until
Thursday.
Thursday.
I don't have a problem, but I'm saying we could easily add it and address it tonight. And implement it if it has to
And I
be.
don't know that we have enough information to understand what we would set a mill rate at. And I think the confusion to the taxpayers would be, and if we set it too high, giving funding back to them.
Well, one of the things is we can't set it higher than last year's.
No, so what we have learned is you could set it, oh, what do you mean last year? Higher than last? year?
Whatever the.
Oh, last year's budget.
Mill
Yeah,
rate,
so
mill
you
rate,
can't set it
spending
higher
plan.
than 19.29. If we were to entertain it, I would say, let's see where and if the Board of Finance falls on a number. If they send something to us to send to town meeting, there'll be a mill rate associated with that. So rather than setting it now, let's wait and see what they come up with.
It's only 2 days.
Right.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
So, I mean, if they finish their budget on
And what are
Thursday-
our legal aspects on setting a temporary mill rate? I know that
Well,
we
it's
can't
not
set,
temporary. Scott had gotten us additional, it's called temporary, but it's not really temporary because it becomes the mill rate and it doesn't change. And we can go over, but nobody gets a refund. So let's say we.
see,
put
that's
the-
what we had talked about.
If we come in at 19.5, and I'm just throwing out
Yeah.
numbers, 19.5, it comes in at 18. You've got that 1 mil difference that we collected on.
You collect it, it gets put into a reserve account, and then it gets applied to the amount
Next
to be
year's
raised by
taxes.
taxation next year.
So it gets very confusing, and that was part of the issue that we talked about.
Yes, and the mill
Well,
rate
it's not
that,
cut and dry.
no, there are issues with it. But we can set a mill rate to get cash coming in. And we also operate off of last year's budget, because that's the last approved budget.
We can,
But last year's budget is.
or
higher
is it, no,
than
that's the
this
Board of
year's.
Finance.
No, but the spending part of it.
That's the Board of
The
Finance.
spending part though, Ken.
No, I know,
was
but
higher
that's
last
the way the
year.
law reads. It's.
Right, but
We don't, because we're
We
maintaining.
don't set approve a temporary spending plan. The Board of Finance does. A temporary spending plan is up to the Board of Finance.
I know we went round and round when we didn't have a state budget.
When we did it years ago, I looked up the minutes.
Yeah, no, I'm saying,
Yeah.
I don't recall it.
But it
but
could
it-
change.
Correct. But that's when all CCM and everybody was involved, and it was such a big brouhaha how to deal with this, and I think we got information from the Attorney General's, whatever. It was a lot of stuff that was flying around to figure out, because the state didn't have a budget,
When the state didn't have a budget, yeah, but
and that was the crux of it, because we didn't know what our revenues were coming in at the time in order to pass a budget. So if we passed the budget and we lost $1 million, you'd have to make it up, and that was the difficult part.
And can I just point out, Mr. Senical, I'm gonna use what you just said. This is where setting a temporary mill rate becomes an issue. Because you'll get a question like, if the temporary mill rate is higher, are you going to pay interest on all the taxpayers' extra money that you hold on to?
and that's
These are
those
the
are the
things that we
questions that we're
deal
gonna.
with all the time, that makes it very difficult for us to make any decisions. So I'm just saying, enough is enough. I'm not gonna be steamrolled anymore. We're doing our very best to take care of this town, to make sure that services are provided. And then when services have to get cut, we get lynched for it. Just enough is enough. We'll take it up on Thursday. There are no tax refunds, but first citizen comments. Any other citizen comments? Mr. George O'Neill.
Thank you for taking a few moments here. I appreciate I want to speak tonight about the repeated failure of the budget and the need for even better communication and understanding around the issue. First, I want to acknowledge that the town has made real efforts to inform voters. You've used local radio, held public meetings, you've offered budget workshops, and I appreciate those efforts. But even despite that, the budget has now failed 3 times. And in most recent vote in July, it was 60% of the voters rejected the proposal. And in my view,
Can I correct? It wasn't 60% of the voters. It was 60% of the 26% that came out.
corrected, 60% of the votes rejected it.
Difference.
Huge difference.
60% of the votes cast were negative. How's that? And if this is a Q&A, let's get to the numbers, if that's what you wish. But that's my comment. I think you know my point, and you certainly understand the data. However, the biggest sticking point seems to be the proposed increase in the school budget, which is about 70% of the entire town budget. Residents see this increase coming while property values and taxes are rising. They're also aware of the mandated special education costs, which are largely fixed, while the overall student enrollment has continued to decrease 20% over the past decade. Meanwhile, the failure to pass the budget has real consequences. We're seeing staff furloughs, reduced transfer station hours, and cuts to services like senior lunches. I don't think most residents want those cuts, but they're frustrated and want clearer answers, just like we detect the tone in the Board of Selectmen in their frustration. Everyone's frustrated. I think it's important to remember that it's the responsibility of our elected officials, the Board of Finance, the Board of Selectmen, and the Board of Education, to develop and present a budget. The role of citizens is to review that proposal, provide feedback, and vote. For that process to work, residents need clear, complete, and accessible information about the choices and trade-offs are involved. I'd respectfully ask the board to consider developing an even more robust communications plan before bringing another budget forward. That could mean clearer breakdowns of the school budget drivers, the context on enrollment trends, and open, direct discussions about the challenges we face. This information should reach the people through all channels: social media, the town website, local radio, mailings, and public meetings to ensure everyone is included. I believe if the people feel they understand the situation, they'll be better prepared to make an informed decision, even if they don't all agree. Even in this short, brief discussion, there's some confusion over data and how it's presented. The fact is, we've had 3 negative votes. No one wants to see a 4th. And the largest portion of the budget is the school. Is it not time, I pose this question rhetorically, is it not time to right-size the school to the amount and needs of the town and what the people are willing to pay? I thank you very much for your time and consideration. I know everyone on this panel and certainly many in the audience are some of my neighbors. So thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. O'Neill.
You're welcome.
Citizen comments. Ms. Valerie Clark.
Valerie Clark, Alm Road, here, Mr. O'Neill. I want to clarify the statement that I made at the last Board of Selectmen meeting regarding reducing staff. What I said at that meeting was that in reviewing the budget for the next referendum, if the town side had to be cut, that it was time to look at staff. I never said furloughs. I never supported the furloughs. Additionally, in the answer that Ms. White got this evening about who was furloughed, I again ask what the definition of an essential employee is, because certainly the list I heard was not someone I wouldn't consider essential for the large part. And then the next thing is regarding the agenda item about bringing NECOG back. I agree with Suzanne. The experience that I personally had with NECOG was horrific. And I know many people who were in that same situation. They were given bad information, they were misdirected, the animals were not properly treated, and I don't want to go back there. And I think removing our ACO program, and I understand that this is a calling, it is not a career, because the risks are very, very high, especially in the last 2 weeks with some of the incidents that have happened in town. So I understand the risks, I understand what's going on with that, but we have had a good ACO program for the large part in town and much far superior to what NECOG has offered in the past. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. David Dalby Senior.
Hello, hey, can you hear me all right?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm not going on budget talk. I got a couple odd questions I just not sure of. One is, I noticed a camera at it's attached to the top stop sign by Vernon Stiles like a week and a half ago, and I reached out to the Connecticut DOT and they knew nothing, but then all of a sudden it went away. I'm hoping that it turns into a stoplight there, because it's a freeway for Mass and Rhode Island, especially on Thompson Speedway events. I'm going to tell you, there's at least 6 times my wife has been almost blindsided. They do not stop. It's unbelievable. I understand it. I was a kid once too, but these people fly through that, and I'm assuming that's why they're probably trying to take record of that. But I don't know if you could clarify if they told you anything about it, because the town highway department guy didn't know anything, and I emailed the state and they said they do that randomly. But I just don't know what the big secret is. It's not like it's top secret stuff. It's just a camera on a stop sign. If they're putting a light in, you're putting a light in. I don't know why it was so hidden. Not on your end, but why the DOT couldn't give me more information on that.
Right.
That's one. Yeah.
Oh, can I just answer that one while
Sure.
you're, we did meet with the DOT, and actually, I think Joe might have forgotten, we might not have been informed of the camera, but we actually did make a request for them to consider putting something to either calm the traffic or a stoplight itself. So we did make the request of the DOT to consider putting a stoplight there.
Okay, that's what I assumed. And my other thing was, like, and this is probably a town ordinance or something. How can I get off this list of solicitations? I don't want these people on my property. I'm tired of the solar people coming to my house. I understand they got a job. I totally respect that. But to me, they're trespassing. They're coming in with a 10-cent badge on their neck. And until something happens to somebody, then everybody's going to be like, oh my God, what happened? Unfortunately, in the society we live in today, there's a lot of weirdos out there. And going to Staples or something and making a badge on their own computer isn't rocket science anymore with all the programs. So I just don't, and I'm very nice to these guys, but they're sometimes insistent. And I try to tell them, I'm not trying to be mean. I know you got a job to do, but I don't want you on my property. One of them said, well, put a sign out there, no solicitation. Hell no, am I going to put a sign on my property that I own? That I don't want solicited, this big sign, no solicitation. Who the hell wants to put that in their front lawn? So I didn't know if there was an ordinance on it, or if there's a way through Eversource that I can get off of this list. If people want them in this town to go to the house, great, have them. Take my share. I don't want them on my yard.
There is an ordinance that authorizes it and allows it. So we would have to look up if we wanted to adjust it or eliminate it. Because as long as there's an ordinance allowing it, it's open. But
Okay, that's what I was unsure of. So, like, even if I went to a town, like, we have all these town votes, and I get all the town votes, but sometimes throw a question in like that. Who wants this?
Right.
I mean, maybe a lot more people don't. I'm sure a lot of people don't. And if you want solar, then call them up and have them come to your house. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's right.
I don't understand it. I just don't, and it's like redundant, the same companies. I'm like, guys, can you just take my name off your list, please? I'm begging you.
And I have seen posts on Facebook. Have you seen this car in your neighborhood? What are they doing? And it really makes people uncomfortable.
Of course.
The ordinance is online, but I'll send copies and then maybe we can put that on our next agenda.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Good comment, Dave.
Thank you. Was there anything else, Mr. Dalpy?
No, go get them. That's all right. Have
Thank
fun.
you.
I just wanted to change the light around. I've been meaning to ask you all that. That was, I was just like I said, that light thing was just, I figured that's what it was, but I know when I assume I get in trouble, so I don't try not to do that.
Thank you for not assuming.
All right, thanks, guys. I'll see you.
Nice.
Ms. Valerie Clark.
Yep, Valerie Clark, regarding Mr. Dalby's comment about the solicitors. The first selectman's office has been very helpful to me in those situations because in every single case where someone has appeared at my door, the solicitor was not licensed with the town. They do have to be licensed with the town to show up at your doorstep. And the first question to ask them is to show and produce a hard copy, because they are required to have a hard copy of that license signed by the town. And that sends them running fast when you ask that question, because your next statement is that I'm calling the police. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizen comments on Zoom? Citizen comments in the room. Yes, Mr. LaFrida.
Brian LaFrida, Little Davis Road. Amy's aware of this. I just want to touch base on the animal shelter. Obviously, disclosure, as we know, I volunteer there and I'm happy to help, and it's been a great program. But letting it go out of town could have consequences when you consider this. What Amy knows today is that I was just walking my dog and he was attacked by another dog in the neighborhood that broke free from his leash. So that dog wasn't being illegally handled. He was leashed in a shaded area, but the owner was at work, wasn't home. Fortunately, I didn't get hurt. My dog is very quick. He is not aggressive, but he knows how to get away. He had a clump of fur taken. The other dog tried to grab him by the neck. I hit him with my bug paddle on the head to make him scoot off a little bit. So again, nothing bad happened. Nothing was wrong with how the owner of the dog really handled it, although it's going to be away for that long. I question having a dog leashed outside for that long. But that dog was also still loose until she got home from work at 5 p.m. and I contacted you around 10 a.m. somewhere around there. So that dog was a threat to anyone walking by, especially if someone was walking their dog. Fortunately, I notified my neighbors through our group chat, but I also sent a video to Amy. Someone was riding the bike by and the dog was approaching that person, and I don't know if the dog would get aggressive with people, but he is aggressive to other dogs. It happened. Obviously, we don't have a contract with NECOG to call them out. Amy's not equipped to handle a dog, but if we had an ACO, if we had Aaron, or we had Brianna, they would have been able to come out, get that dog, grab them with their thing around, whatever it's called, around the neck, bring them to the shelter until the owner claimed it. I don't know that NECOG could get here and make that a priority, or would care that's far away, or that dog might have still been out all day long. And anything could have happened. And I think it's important to have some local if you can.
And I missed that second video you must have sent, or the video you
The one
must have
video.
sent me. So,
I think that's a prime example. And that's a good example of not having an ACO in town.
I had experience with the animal control. We were driving and a dog ran in front of my car and I had called 911. They weren't gonna send someone out because it wasn't a person on a car. And Brianna, in true Brianna fashion, showed up and helped the whole situation. And I really don't think that outsourcing animal control is a good idea. I understand the financial implications of making sure that the building is up to code and things like that, but having an ACO that lives in town that truly bleeds and breathes animal control Like Brianna, I think that that's a need. That's not a want.
Any other citizen comments? Yes, Mr. O'Brien.
I agree, found it wonderful. We had one, we adopted one, she passed away. She was only with us for a year, but you know what? Wonderful thing. I think it would be a wrong idea. I really do. Second, I got a question, because if I remember, I'm trying to remember back when we were going through all this trouble, you could actually go down to a certain amount on the budget, and it doesn't need voters' approval. Like you don't have to go above a threshold, I thought there was. If you didn't go above a threshold, it was like no harm, no foul. You're almost like equal. I don't know if that's true or not.
The only
You
thing that's,
always need town
We-
approval.
the only
have
thing
to-
that's in the ordinance is whether or not we do it at a town meeting when the budget's presented or it goes to referendum.
Right.
That's it.
Another question, why don't we go back to the town meeting and finish this? Instead of having to vote, call everybody up to that school and just be done with this. Let the chips fall where they're made. And people will live with it. And oh, by the way, after we're done, let's everybody break bread because we're all part of Thompson. I mean, only been here 13 years, but I think it's time that we stop talking to neighbors civil like and everything else. Instead of name calling or whatever, let's just take it up there. Don't even go to a referendum. Go up there. Get it done. I mean, other towns do it all the time around this place. They all go to a town meeting and it's done in one night and it's done. It doesn't ever fail. You have a budget and you move on from that. Whatever the budget is, it is what it is. I mean, I understand it was back in the day before I came, it was up there and there was all kinds of cantankerous things going, but the fact is, every time the budget was settled and it was done. I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Can I just quickly address that?
That's fine.
Oh,
Go ahead.
2,600 voters approximately came out and voted. If we did it town hall or town meeting or we'd have 30. I'd rather hear from 2,600 than
You
have
combine
30
two
people.
Budgets during COVID with 200 voters on Zoom and in person and by phone. And I don't know how you identified anybody on the phone. I really don't. But the fact of the matter is, there are things that we can do and just get this thing done. Oh, by the way, you say, you know what? Open it up to the field. Let 2,600 people bring up their chairs and sit down and go over it. And just be done with this. If that's what they want to do. I mean, back in the day, I understood they filled
Okay.
those rooms.
I don't think you
Yes.
understood.
Okay.
We get it.
To the best of my recollection, living in town all my life, I've never seen, it's always gone out the referendum.
Referendum.
We've never had it settled at a, like Putnam does in the,
Right.
it's never
Putnam's a
been. that-
charter town, so that's.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, and that's
it's never
different.
been that way. Even though it is an ordinance, below a certain percentage, it could go to town meeting.
All right,
Right.
any other citizen comments? All right, we had no tax refunds.
You got your motion.
You got your second.
All right, all in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is 8:35. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.